Imagine hitting every one of your health and fitness goals without missing a beat. Oh my gosh, does that sound awesome? Well, staying on track with your fitness and nutrition, I think it sometimes can feel like like you're navigating a maze. And the more we sometimes simplify, we tend to kind of overthink it or overcomplicate it. And I find, and I wish I would have had this right away when I first started. But the thing is, you can use your smartphone to help guide you out of the maze. I used a computer at the time, so if you're ready to turn all that in there, we're gonna share a few little nuggets, little tips, and I'm gonna share some of my experiences with you on this podcast. But before we dig into all this stuff, I do want to say welcome to another Power Blast podcast, where we provide nourishment for the soul, allowing you to transform from the inside out, providing rapid results. In mindset and fitness, so that you can recharge that mental and physical battery of yours and reclaim your power. And I'm going to find that should you want to really elevate that fitness game of yours, keep listening for the game-changing advice. And if you need some extra push, head over to talktoperry.com. I'm posting it right down there in the lower third, just like that. Magic, right? Head over to talktoperry.com. We can have a conversation about that and help you get on the right path. So it's easy to lose sight of the fitness goals, especially when we've got chaotic lives, or a ton. Even if life isn't as chaotic, there's plenty of distractions out there. And that's where I find that fitness apps can really be a way to turn like your smartphone or even your computer into, personal trainer, dietitian, nutritionist. Now, I know it's not like you're working one-on-one right there with them, but you know what? Apps have really become very, very sophisticated, even for hydration reminders. So I remember back when I was just using plain pen and paper, maybe it was pencil, just to keep track of my nutrition, because I got going on my fitness and I found that I kind of avoided the nutrition stuff just because I just didn't want to give up certain things. And that's usually a good sign that you probably should give up certain things if you've got that clinging necessity, like, oh, please don't take that away. But I was going along with that, and I'm like, man, keeping track and keeping accountable was kind of a drag for me. And I think there's a lot of people out there that find that. There's a lot of people that really get into the numbers. They get into diligently tracking their macros, every calorie, etc. So I was really appreciative when I came across a site. One was called fitday.com. I don't even know if it exists anymore, but the other one's called MyFitnessPal. And you probably heard of that, and there's an app on there. And what I loved about that was whatever I bought at the grocery store, I could quick with it, just start to type that in, and it would give me the portion size, the all the calorie counts, count all the macros up. And it was an easy way. It simplified my accountability. Now I still had to log in. I still had to type a few things. But then I kind of became obsessed about it. I'm like, ooh, because I was trying by the end of the day just to hit a certain percentages of the proteins, the carbs, the fats, and then to see if I could consistently do that. So it became a thing. It didn't become a burden. And so I found that to be fantastic. The thing was, the results followed as from doing that activity. I really dialed things in to where now I'm visibly and physically feeling the benefits of me staying consistent with my nutrition along with my exercising. Now, I said, some of these smart apps, they can be your personal trainer. Well, for me, I stream my workouts because at the beginning I was talking about simplifying, right? With workouts, I found if I went to the gym, I was kind of guessing my way around it. Even when I bought equipment at home and tried to figure out and do it my own way. Have you ever been there where you're like, oh, I've got this. I'll figure things out. No, that really meant to me I was just going to go through the motions, really not put in the time and the energy, and not get results. So having a trainer right there coming from the TV. Now I stream it online through my computer or actually a tablet or even TV. Um, Tells me what to do, different sequences. It takes a guesswork out for me. So there's a simplification there. Next one, the simplification of eating. Now I was given a plan of what to eat and the timing of it, but there's a lot of flexibility out there. It's just a matter of keeping track of what goes in your mouth, and based on your goals, whatever that is. So there are nutritionists and dietitians that have programs out there that have simplified things, even ones that address mindset. And in the show notes, I'll pop in some of my favorites there that really helped me along the way on my journey, stay on track, get the results, and keep the results going. Now I'm into my 21st year of when I made that committed decision. So, if you're at a point where you find that you are like you get in that start and stop cycle and all that stuff, consider looking at some apps here, even if it's just a water, like you're like, for the next 30 days, I'm just going to track my water, make sure I drink enough water and stay hydrated throughout the day. There are apps that will give you a little reminder. There's a bunch of them. All you got to do is get in your app store and search water tracker, and it would have that. So those things, at least for me, and I almost do these. Sometimes I find when I do these podcasts, I'm like, that's a great reminder to get back to that should you want those results. And, I'm at a point where it's like, I'm doing some body recomposition workouts here. I'm like, well, nutrition's really a part of it. And with a lot of, there's been, let's say, some not so accountable decisions that have been made recently. It's like, let's dial this in. But see, for me, the apps and going through these actions, it was getting into the habits so that I could make this sustainable for life. So I could easily look at a plate of food and say, I'm on track with my macros, or right, approximating it, and I'm getting the nutrition and I feel fueled and I've got the energy and I feel strong during my workouts. That's the big thing for me. So if you're feeling stuck, if you are in need of a fitness boost, it's really time to harness that power of technology. Just head over to, speaking of technology, website, talktoperry.com, and we can explore how to elevate your fitness game. Accountability. I know for some, it seems intimidating because you feel like, oh, I'm gonna be limited. I'm gonna be restricted. I'm gonna have to give things up. And that might be on some of the things, especially if the things that you're giving up are going to enable you to get to the results that you want. The thing is, keep this in mind. I would test things out every 30 days. I would say, over the next 30 days, I'm going to do this, really focus on it, and see if it matters. And if it does, and it's getting me to my goal, I'm keeping it. If over the next 30 days, it's just not working for me and it's not making me reach my goals or anything like that, then I reserve the right to pivot. But I think what you're going to find, and this happened to me with vegetables because I hated vegetables all my life. I was kind of traumatized as a kid to finish my vegetables, and I gagged them down. I couldn't leave the table, all this stuff. And so as an adult, I'm like, never again. I'm not having vegetables again. Well, when I got to the point where eating became this important thing as part of my plan, and I'm like, man, I keep saying vegetables. I hate vegetables. I said, over the next 30 days, I'm going to see if that's still true. Do I hate vegetables and that they won't work? I'm going to diligently track it and figure out a way over the next 30 days. If at the next 30 days, I reserve the right to go back and not eat vegetables. But I found after the first week, my energy soared. I dropped 5 pounds within a week. And I was already healthy and fit and all that stuff. I'm like, wow, there's something to this. Now all I need to do is figure out how to eat them without gagging on them. And I did. And now, you know what? We have broccoli and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts quite often, things that I would have been repulsed by for years. So just know, with the accountability and the right apps, staying on track can be easier. It can help you reach your goals. And you've got the tech tools right at your disposal. You just got to use them and say, you know what? I'm making a committed decision to take the action on my exercise to really make it important with my fitness. And if I can leverage that and stay accountable through an app, you can turn your fitness dreams into your reality. But just know, I mean, you can choose to use your power like that and take control, or you can let distractions or justifications or I'll think about that and procrastinate. You can let that control you and drain your power. It really boils down to deciding and committing to yourself and your goals and choosing to figure out new ways, looking at possibilities, learning and growing, and keep moving forward. You've got this, my friend. I'd love to hear your top takeaway from today's episode, or even if you want to check out the apps and things that have worked for me down in the show notes, you're welcome to do that. But I promise I will reply to you. You absolutely rock, my friend. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week. That's another Power Blast podcast in the books. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, when you are ready to recharge your battery, make sure you go to talktoperry.com. That's talktoperry.com. That's Perry. And I want to listen. I want to hear, what's going on. I want to help you in that 15-minute call to recharge your battery and reclaim your power so that you're off and running and creating massive momentum toward your dream. Also, every day, I am delivering more motivation, support, tips, and strategies inside my free community with amazing people like yourself. And we are conquering the mindset and the fitness. I do 52 weeks of free training in there. Plus, I coach and I mentor people, as well as give you access to tons of resources and guides. It's called my Upside Down Fitness community because we work on a lot of mindset stuff, the inside stuff. And we're a fun group of people striving to make healthier habits in this awesome chapter of life. So make sure you get in there. I promise you'll absolutely love it. Just head over to upsidedownfit.com and you can get into the group. And hey, you would be an awesome friend if you get over to iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave an honest rating and review for the Power Blast podcast. It helps awesome people like you find the show even faster, and that's who I'm looking for, awesome people like you. That's all I have for this week, my friend, and just to let you know, you absolutely rock. That's all I have for this week. I'll see you on the next Power Blast podcast, and always remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.